Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday, April 14th, 2026. How is everybody? What we got in the chat over there on YouTube? Colin. I'm like only seeing what I got here. I'm only seeing Colin in the chat, but I know I just saw somebody in there before. Hello, David. Oh, Russell's there. All right, I knew you were there. For whatever reason, I didn't see you. DRZ Durs. Busy day today. Busy day. It always is. Like my mail carrier is early now. I just dropped my razor blade here on the floor. Hang on. My mail carrier is early because she injured herself, and so they've removed her walking route from her route, so she's like earlier than normal every day for at least 3 or 4 weeks until she gets better. And on Tuesdays when I come in late, like she literally opens the door like within 15-20 minutes of me getting here, and I just laugh. I'm like, it's like, I'll come back. It's all good. So it's like nonstop from when I get in the morning to get the shipping done and get things done. And then today we had a bunch of ink show up at the door during lunch, which was good. So anybody looking for any more of the Manyo or Urameku inks from Sailor, the bottles are now in stock up on the website. There are 2 bottles that are brand new Manyo inks that I don't have on the website yet. I hope to have those up. Those probably won't go up until next week, but so if you've been looking for Fuji or Nadeshiko or Date Gokoro and the Urameku, those are all available right now. Ink samples are going to be done probably as soon as I can, because there's just a ton of bottles of ink on my table. Did the tornado carry away any pens or desk sets last night? No. Hello, Gabriel. So the one thing I remember when I bought my condo, they said, the only problem the place has is that in the spring, occasionally the basement will leak in like one corner. And I completely forgot about it because I don't believe it happened last year. And so a couple days ago, we noticed there was water in the basement after a heavy rain. So we're like, oh, yeah, okay. And we mopped it up and it was no big deal. And so, I looked this morning and it was bad yesterday. So we got up to Green Bay. We went up to the park where my daughter wants to get married, and we looked around. We talked to the people there. Then we went out to dinner, and then just as soon as we were leaving, and I was kind of like, we got to get cooking because it's going to rain and it's supposed to be bad. It started pouring just as we're like getting out of the restaurant, and of course the parking was so bad that we were on the 180 degrees. We're on the opposite side of the restaurant, so we got completely soaked trying to get to the car. And then just as we get on the highway, it starts hailing. and all I can think of, and we're driving like 20 miles an hour on the highway. All I can think about is, I don't have my car fixed from the last problem, the last claim. And it sounded like, somebody was hitting the car with the ball peen hammer. So thankfully it doesn't look like there's any issues this morning. It didn't last too long, but people are pulling over and pulling off the road, and I was like, you know what, I'm cooking. I'm getting the hell out of here. And it was about 5-10 minutes of just pure chaos, and then it lightened up and all was good. So but no desk sets were lost in the struggle. So that was good. But anyway, get the hell out. Yeah. I was just, Lisa was, Lisa doesn't like to drive in that stuff. So that's usually why I drive. And she's like hanging on to the, what we call the old shit handle. you know, and, I'm pretty tense, and I'm sitting forward and I'm paying attention and, the radio's off and, the heat's off and I like that's going to help. But yeah, it was something else. So anyway, yeah, Manyo Yurimeku in stock. I got to find later today. I'm going to find a place to put them on the shelf because I ran out of room, which is a really, 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 really happy problem to have. Did I fill up my car successfully yesterday? Yeah, so what they were doing is, I noticed I went and got gas, because they were very specific. It's like, you got to be there at 5:30. I'm like, well, it's going to take me at least 25 minutes to get there. At least it was late getting out of work. So we were 10 minutes late. But they were putting in these new pumps, or new displays. I mean, their screens are like now bigger than like the TV I had when I was, a kid. So new screens, new payment processing things. So yeah, so they got that all squared away. I got my gas. I paid an absorbent fee. And Lisa's like, speed limit 70 here. I'm like, yeah, but gas is $5.09 a gallon. So I'm going to go 65 to save a couple dollars. So anyway. What else is new? What else is cooking here? I can't think of anything. Let's take a look at what's on the bench. Let's get working. Let's talk about what's going to happen today. We're going to continue on with these snorkels and touchdowns and this lever filler and see what we can do with this guy. We're going to test this guy now that it's sealed up. And then I've got some new pens, and I have some pencils that I just need to test and, I don't know, maybe polish and make them go away. And a couple of ballpoints that are sitting in my trays of stuff that is potentially saleable. And so I just want to look at them, stick some lead in there, make sure they work, and then they can go away. So that's what we got today. And I also still have the 61 from yesterday, which was working like a champ last night. This morning, it hasn't stopped working. I haven't used it a ton, but when I've used it, it's good to go. I was hoping to get some time to scribble a couple of pages, but we had photography this morning, so my daughter was here taking pictures of a new batch of vintage stuff and talking about things. So yeah, it was a very, very busy day. Didn't give him a chance to do any relaxing at all. You love your hybrid, yeah. The funny thing is before I got my VW, I was actually looking at a Lexus hybrid. I'm really glad I didn't get it to some degree because the rear seat did not fold down, so the trunk was really small. There was like no way you could put hardly anything in this stinking thing. And the salesman, couldn't even tell me how this thing worked. I mean, I don't know. Apparently it's regenerative braking, and I'm looking at the gauges, and he was doing a terrible job of selling me on this car. Which was just fine because even though it was cheaper than my VW, they weren't going to give me the loan for the Lexus. It was very, very strange. So, but it was a cool car though. Would have been cool. All right. What do we got here? Where do we start? We got to clean out these snorkel tubes too, don't we? Put some sacks on. You know what? We're going to start by maybe cutting some sacks. I think that's what we're going to do. CX50, that's the hybrid. All right. For you know what? I'm only going to do 3 because I don't know if this one's if we're ever going to get that one to work. So we'll do this. We'll just throw that over there. Yeah, I'm not against a hybrid in the future, but I just think that, or an electric. I just think the technology isn't. I mean, it's sort of there. I don't think it's where it needs to be. These 2 touchdowns we can probably glue up, huh? You leased it and you'll give it back after the 3 years. You don't trust them long term yet? Yeah. You know what I'm terrified on some of these is like, what is the battery replacement cost going to be? And then what is the effect on that on the environment? I mean, what is the net gain or loss versus electric or versus gas? You know, yeah, you're going to save money on gas expense, but if you've got to buy a new replacement battery, now it's a hybrid, so it's not as big of a deal. Hello, Juicy. But you know what I mean? I mean, there's other things to consider too. At the time, I thought diesel was the right choice, and I do like it, and the gas mileage is exceptional. So, all right, those are all good to go. We got gaskets, we got O-rings. Your brother tells me he pays as much for electricity as he would for gas. Yeah, with this probably with the with the shorter cruise range, right? And if you want to get high charge capability at your house, you gotta have what is it, 220 installed, or you have to have a special. This is not moved at all. I mean, I wish I could measure the force it's requiring me to pull on this. Yeah, special charger installed at home. Yeah, and I bet that wasn't cheap, right? I mean, I like the idea, but you know, it's funny. It's like I was watching the thousands. Yeah. Um, if any of y'all have Paramount Plus, they have a really a pretty decent series called Landman. It's got Billy Bob Thornton in it, and it's really entertaining. His ex-wife is highly annoying, but you know, if you can get past that, um, the series is interesting. But one of the early scenes, they were talking about wind power and how they use wind power out and it's about, you know, Billy Bob is a landman. He works for the oil company, and he manages all the oil pumps on in their properties, and they use wind. The big wind turbines that you see, the wind farms and things like that, for generating electricity out in the field, in the patches, they say. And he says they're not effective, they're not efficient at all because of the amount of energy and gas it takes to get them out there and get them set up. I mean, yeah, it's basically free electricity, but they have no way to get electricity there any other way, so it's kind of the same thing. I just thought that was interesting. I'm like, oh, so it's really not effective. It's just that it's the best option available in that area. So anyway, it's a good series. Check it out. It's only 2 seasons, so. But like every episode is like an hour long. Now we got to wait until like November or September or October, something like that, for the next season to come out. All right. Before I forget, I should mention that there is a very tiny possibility that there might not be a stream tomorrow afternoon, or that I might be late. I hope not. But I have electricians coming to my house for the third time, at least third time, if not fourth time, to try to fix all the problems. All the small issues that they haven't been able to quite grasp their head around the last couple of times. They assure me it's going to take them an hour. Now, last time they said it would take 4 and it took 7. So, we will see what happens. It's supposed to be in the morning. I'm dropping Lisa off and then turning around and driving right back home. The inspection camera you bought to use to look inside pens comes in handy. You had to remove a sack the other day. It was very stubborn to remove it. The camera was useful in seeing where I had to concrete on it. Yeah, it's going to take as long as it takes. Like, I'll stay there all day as long as they don't ever come back. That'll be my sacrifice. I got plenty I can do at home. Well, not plenty. I don't want to take ink samples home, because it's a huge, heavy box of of ink samples that I got to do. And if it's really only going to be an hour, then I'm just hauling around heavy stuff. But I just want it done. I want that inspector out of my house. What I think I'm going to do is I'm going to call the inspector immediately. I think I have his number. And say, hey, listen. These guys are just here. Come on out. I mean, he's not coming out that day, but I just don't want to wait. Get them scheduled next week or whatever. Maybe they could come up and say, I doubt it. I doubt it. Although if I was smart, I would call up I should have called up the inspection office the same time I called the electricians and then scheduled the appointment. But I mean, we're well over a year of when this should have been completed. And coincidentally, yesterday, I got they had to reassess the house because, of course, we had to pull a permit for the work. And so the city wanted to make sure they get every penny they're owed, sent out an assessor to take a look at the improvements. And we got the assessment yesterday. It was nowhere near as bad as I thought it was going to be. It did go up though. About 3%, 4%. If I did my math right. Yeah, less than 4%, I think. So it'll have minimum impact on property tax, which is good. Make sure they didn't see the gold-plated fixtures. We got rid of all the gold. There was all these gold handles and light fixtures with gold trim on them. First thing Lisa says is we got to get rid of that. That's got to go. Door hinges, got to go. They're gold, got to go. Hardware, got to go. And I'll be damned if she wasn't right. It looks better without it. But the problem with calling the inspector is that they give you a window. So he could very well come before these people are done. Joys of home ownership, right? Okay, let's see. Yeah, maybe I can just flush them out with a little water. That works great. This is the same. Whoops, a drip on there. Same bulb syringe that I use for 61s. Um, you can fit the whole thing in there. Just be glad you don't have a pool. I got enough problems with like parking at my place right now, so the entire time I've been there, like everybody has parked in like the same spot. And and all of a sudden the guy who parks in the first space is now parking like in my spot. And then I'm parking right next to it, which means the woman whose spot I'm parked in. I mean, the other day I came out and there was like extra cars in the lot. People were parked at a 90-degree angle to everybody else. It was just ridiculous. Augusta, Maine's doing a citywide property reevaluation next year, required by the state and city laws. Yeah, and what they try to sell you on is because Appleton did that a couple years back, and what they try to sell you on, um, it doesn't necessarily mean your taxes are going to go up. Guess what? Mine went up. Next up here will be replacement windows. That's not going to be fun. Oh, man. Oh. Yeah, that's... Yeah, sure. Yeah. I hear this. I want to hear this. Well, I think what we're going to do is... if this parking situation thing doesn't iron itself out right quick, this starts to become a problem. We're gonna, because it looks like, so there's 4 units and only 2 garages, and it looks like if you park right, you can fit 6 cars in the lot, and then 2. So every condo can have 2 space for 2 cars. If you've got a garage, then you get 1, and if you don't have a garage, you get 2. Well, nobody knows how to park here, and there's 1 car that's been sitting there. It's probably dead. It has not moved in maybe 9 months, maybe a year. I don't know. Like, we're gonna just pay to have the lot painted, striped, and then put A, B, C, D for the units on the ground so everybody knows where the hell they park. I feel like a really, really old man when I say that. I just, I don't want drama when I come home. Just buy one of these and do it yourself. 36-inch marking paint wand. Oh yeah, there we go. $44.88. Oh man. Yeah, that's a good idea. Hey, off my pavement. Get off my pavement. I just, when you get home, you just want to go home. You don't want drama. You just want to go home and relax and do your thing. I suppose I can just figure out what the acceptable width is for cars and put a note up. Everybody's got to move their car next Friday. I was thinking about having signs put up, but then that's a lot of money. And then the people who mow the lawn gotta mow around it. Get a set of wheel dollies. I've got my jack in the garage. Yeah, this car is a complete eyesore. It's just sitting. It's been sitting there forever. But then they also leave their because the parking area backs up to the it's basically an alley, and everybody puts their garbage cans there. Garbage cans and recycle bin there, and the one is it? Yeah, it is registered. Yeah, um, the one tenant who has this car that's sitting there, they just leave their garbage cans behind the car in the alley, and they never bring them in. I thrive on no conflict, but come on, people. Need to wire brush that up a little bit, I think. Time for a homeowner association violation notice. Yeah. Well, I have not met the other owner. There's only, it's us and um, one gentleman who owns the other 3 units and rents them out. We haven't met him. But this might be the summer for that. You renters. Yeah, some of them aren't too bad. One of my next door's neighbor works shift work, and he's coming home when we leave in the morning, which means on weekends he's partying until he's got music playing for till 3 in the morning. City rubbish pickup or private? It's city. Why is this not going on here? You know what? This is fat, so it actually needs a 17, doesn't it? So let's use this on here, and then I'll have to cut a new sack. What I was thinking. so I don't need that. Cut that one. Next touchdown, I got to find a touchdown that'll be appropriate for a touchdown size. Yeah, yeah. You got to have you rubbished out the night before, and then you got after 2 surgeries, you can use a new sack. Okay. Well, that goes on easier. Oh. Do they have automated equipment to pick up the barrels? Yeah, yeah, they do. All right. I hate to replace the barrel. Maybe I heat this up. We were talking about heating this up yesterday. You have one neighbor who hasn't taken in his can since last fall, even though the city says they can't be out past the day of pickup. Yeah. Oh, well, Appleton is flat as a pancake. The code enforcement guy is semi-retired. Yeah, that sounds like it. If that worked, I am just gonna. I don't know what to say. I can't. I hope I remember this for next time. It's not as smooth as that. I wonder what's going to happen when it cools down. All right, Juicy, we'll see you. Like, are we done today? All right, well. I think it's acceptable enough that we'll cut it and see what happens. I would have never thought of that. I would have never thought that that was a viable option. I guess we'll find out tomorrow when we go to ink it up. The section file is approaching end of day. Hang on, I gotta go grab a new one. Oops. How about a file with llamas on it? Look how cute that is. There are little llamas on it. Little cacti. Ever seen a Penco 50? They copied the Sheaffer Imperial too closely and got sued to cease and desist. Nice pen, decent conical nib, but I have no info on how to reset. You never heard of it. Penco 50, huh? Italian, huh? Let's get this put together. You'd think it was Sheaffer until you picked it up, huh? Okay, so that goes in that way. Goes there, which means this goes. I just want to kind of roughly get it in the right area. Unbelievable. Well, starting to look a little more uniform, huh? All right. Before I forget what this is, I'm going to put this back in the 15 drawer. All right. Well, we will come and look at those again next week or tomorrow. Tomorrow, Thursday for sure. Depending on what happens tomorrow. All right. Next up. Make sure I don't have any. Shellac on my fingers. Here's today's Motley Crew. We got a 51. I got to find a part for this, actually. We got a couple of double jewel cordovans. Nice pens. We're going to do this one. We're going to test this one first. And then I got a bunch of pencils that, like, I just need to put lead in and get them figured out. I got a couple of ballpoints here. So it's going to be a real low-key repair day. You're only here for the pencils? You keep acquiring silver pencils? You're a silver lead head? Sterling silver or silver plate? All right, I do want to ink this pen up. I just don't. Mostly sterling. I mean, it's hard to go. It's hard to. Oh. It's hard to go wrong with the sterling pencil. Even if it's not marked. Some gold filled every time you see a new pattern, you can't resist. Morning, Gary. This is a super cool pen, so I'm being extra cautious with it. Just want to make sure it's filling and writing correctly. Actually, it's almost pseudo vintage, right? Because it was made in '92. Inspect my hand here and make sure, just in case there's any. Boy, is that nice. That's really nice. It's kind of weird that they put this trim ring on the back end here, and that the trim ring is actually rounded. So there's like this gap on each side. I mean, it looks like it's not supposed to be there, but it's tight. You think they would have opted for something that was flat? Hmm. Very strange. Finally found a Coeco V16. We talking a car or are we talking a fountain pen? V16. Can you imagine a V16? Piston ink window, very sweet. Oh, nice. Love the big sizes. 1 millimeter plus. Boy, do I have the deal for you. I've got a Levenger lead holder that holds 5.6. I think it's 5.6 millimeter lead. I know, technically not a mechanical pencil. It's a lead holder, but you have a collection of older Levenger? Levenger was one of my very, very, very first pens. Green True Writer. It doesn't really feel very well. Got a copy of the Vacuumatic book yesterday. Great book. Yeah, they're not easy to find. Two-fifths of a mil? That's not right. Yeah, it should hold a mil more than that. It doesn't want to hold much ink. Hate messing around with this pen, but the leak is fixed, but it still feels as crappy as it did before. I am like incredibly out of my league here. Working on a piston. But it only goes in one way. There's a tiny knot. Excuse me. There's tiny knots on one side and a big knots on the other. And the piston shaft was all wet. Well, this is a pain. I gotta thread it in first. Close, no cigar. Oh, well, shoot. Now I gotta line it back up again, don't I? Okay. I want to reseal this in a minute, but just see if that did anything. That's better. Just make sure there's no residue left. Screw that in tomorrow. Move that over to this other tray and get it out of the way. All right. What a nightmare. You just came back upstairs and you see the Omas in pieces. I hope all's well. It just didn't want to fill. It didn't want to fill right. It was not pleasing at all. Now, I will say that my experience with the Omas has been that many times they are more beautiful than they are functional. I have had many in Omas that didn't write well, didn't fill. This guy needs a new hood. Yeah, they can be a bit temperamental. But as they say, you know, nobody likes returns. So when I sell it, it needs to not come back. They need to. I mean, the nib is fantastic. The color is great. Look at that. Ugh. Well, the filling unit's coming out. I guess that's a good sign, huh? You have a repair question for me if I don't mind. I do not mind. I will do my best to answer, and if I don't know, I will let you know I don't know. You have one of those tiny metal walls that's missing a J-bar. Do you know what I could use as a replacement? The pen is sold if you can fix it. Did those originally use a slotted bar in the lever? No idea what the, give me a minute here. Let me, I think I have one of the parts bin. Is it number 1 or number 2? I hope it's not a 0. Number 2, okay. Although, you know, the nice thing about the number 0s is they're so small. They really, I mean, most of the ones I've come across really weren't used very much. So, you know, if the sack goes bad, that's all you got to worry about. Okay, well, this one's not opening up. Was hoping to get these open and get them started soaking, and then we go look for that wahl. There we go. Ow. Ow, ow, ow. That's good. You were selling parts pens on Sunday or trying to, and someone wanted the wahl only if it worked. So demanding. Yeah, I know, right? Was that at Pen Club? All right. How many people go to your club again? Remind me. We've got our meeting this Sunday. $15 to $20. Okay. And do you often have buy, sell, trade sessions? Well, that worked out, huh? Oh, someone asked you to bring stuff. Okay. The wahl is a 0. Oh, shit. I take back what I said about most of them being okay. I might have one of those. All right, let me put these in the ultrasonic here. Give my chicken scratch here. Those. All right, let me grab my wall bin and let's see. Well, this is fun. I wonder why this is in here. This is the number 2. I guess there's a kind of a crimp there. It's got a Skyline feed. This looks like my cat got at it, which is entirely a possibility. Yeah, it's got to be a $150 restored pen for sure. I just want to see if I know that they're thinner. A lot of these have great engravings on them. Billy Ross, June Craig. I just need to outfit some of these with some nibs. Great patterns. What's this one doing in here? Oh, that's a shame, huh? These are all kind of the same size. Yeah, they're okay parts. I'm just missing a whole lot of stuff for them. All right, so on this one, yeah, really, I need to do a concerted effort in getting some feeds and nibs. I probably got nibs for them. On this one, now this is bigger. This bar is very much like, it's going to be impossible to show you. It's very much like a Sheaffer bar. It has this little kind of a semicircle on the back and then a thin bar. Um, but this one, is a slotted bar. But even this is bigger than your pen. Do me a favor. Yeah. Do me a favor and send me a text message later tonight. There's a slim possibility I've got a 0 size at home. But yeah, if the lever's got those little tabs on the end, then it's slotted, and then maybe you stand a chance, and then you could modify this one. Maybe you could have this one. But yeah, I'm not going to be home until it's going to be late. I've got an appointment. Lisa and I got an appointment tonight. Yeah, near an hour. Yeah. You know, I'm. Well, let me think about this for a second. Like if you're up at 10 o'clock, shoot me a text. Just now that I'm looking in here, do I have a? I got feed for that one. If I got a, or I have a nib for that one, I just need a feed for. Maybe I put this nib in one of these others and then use this feed. I could make a pen here. There's a feed. This has got the nib. This could be a fun little side experiment for the day. This one's maybe even nicer. It's got an engraving on it, but is that a right feed? That looks like a Waterman feed, doesn't it? Let's take a look. There's another one. Section on that. Yeah, see, this is what you got to do sometimes. You got to go through and you got to... It's too bad this doesn't have... This is a great pattern. Well, I got nothing there. What am I missing on this one again? This is a great pen. This is probably a number 4 size. Oh, I need a new section. That's the right. Yeah, I would probably use that feed, that nib. Well, that section's cracked. Son of... Any solid... No, I don't think there's any solid gold in here. Well, now I got to look at them all again. Filled. Oh, that's clearly filled. One-eighth, 18 karat. That's kind of nice. Filled. That's obviously filled. One-eighth, 14. Okay, so is that even the right section for that pen? This whole thing looks off. Right? There's no way that's the right section. That looks like a Waterman feed. I bet that's a Waterman feed. Well, if I take this feed, put this feed on there, put that section, take this feed, and take that nib, we got ourselves a pen. Is that crazy? That might work. Because this is beautiful. That looks like it's a Waterman part. Yeah, I bet that's a Waterman. We're gonna make one pen out of 4. That's actually, it looks like a Sterling or Vermeer section on that one. All right, so let's make sure I got the right pens here. What do I need? I need to drill that out. Yeah, that's a lot of work. Wait a minute, here's another one. Well, that's pretty. Oh, so now this is way easier. This is way easier, way nicer. Assuming we've got a bar in here, we can swap the nib from this guy onto this one. And we've got an all gold fill, including section. I think this is the winner here. A little bit different lever, but that's a whole lot of less messing around. Yeah, let's do that. What if I have another wahl nib? Nope. All right. I could put a Skyline nib in there, but that's... This is ominous. Boy, is that tight. Of course, being metal, you got to heat it up and then you got to touch it. Gonna have to maybe pull it off the front. And that's what we're doing. I'm sure that section was coming out someday, but not today. All right. And before I lose it, I'm going to put this in the Waterman bucket. Okay, so just checking the fit. It's gonna looks like it's gonna fit really nicely on this feed. It came out. I'm just gonna leave it in there. Drop that in there. Now we're just gonna do that. We'll clean that nib up in a bit. I need to find a hood for this black arrow. Which sounds easy, but it's got to have the right threading. Or maybe what I do, and I'd be smart about this. Well, it's a special. Oh, that's back. If I have a special body in here somewhere, I just swap that whole part out. Now this looks like a special. This is a special. So why don't we do that? Got a good cap. Oh, no. That hood is cracked. There's another special cracked hood. Well, these are real slim pickings. No, this isn't going to work. Because it's got to be the right hood that has room for this gasket on the end. Wait a minute. This is not a crack, but it's just shrunk. So I'm going to screw that back on. Put all this nonsense back in the bag here. We had a big problem with our marketing or email software this morning. And it did not want to send my mailer. It looks like it just went out. I only sent it at like 10:15. All right, this might work. Um, you can see how the light is shifting here. It's a little bit warped, so we're gonna try. I'm gonna try to heat this up and see if we can get this. Because it's actually clenched down on the nib unit and the collector. So you can't actually take the hood off without taking the nib, the collector, the feed, breather tube, the whole shebang. Thankfully, these take a amazing amount of heat. Because if that straightens out and it comes off, we can either use that hood or we can use the whole thing. And it also could be that the nib is screwed up too. You're back. What'd you miss? Oh my goodness. You missed the best you missed the best sidetrack ever. You got the newsletter 1 minute ago? Yeah. Yeah. They told me when I contacted support this morning, they said, well, if it doesn't, if it doesn't, it should send out automatically. If it doesn't send out in the next hour or so, you can reach back. I'm like, well, what are you gonna do? David was asking a question on. There we go. What are we getting here? We're getting something coming out on wall number 0. J bars or pressure bars, and in the process of trying to find one, because I thought maybe I have one, went down a rabbit hole of, well, I've got a number 2 with a good nib but the wrong feed, and this one's got the right feed but a cracked section, and this one's got the right section but no feed, and this one's got, yada yada yada. All right. So we've got what we ended up with here is I have one pen. There's a nib. I've got a feed and section in the ultrasonic, and we're gonna make one pen out of the parts bin. It was originally going to be one pen out of 4. Yeah, that works. I'm going to heat it up just a little bit. I'm not going to do too much because I don't want to, without something in there. Oh, that's nice. That'll work. Let's put this hunk of junk back together. All right. So we get an unexpected bonus this week of making a pen from the parts bin. Let's stick that one in. One more. There it is. So now that this is a nice, clean, broken part, and it's not too bad. It's just chipped on the top here. You just got the email. Why is the pastel clipless purse pen so expensive at $225? Is it a rare pen? I guarantee you will not find another one of those this year. That's not on my site. I can tell you in 28 years of collecting, I have either owned or seen the neighborhood of, including the 2 that I have for sale, maybe 7. There's a cheaper one at $200 only because the color's not as good. I mean, it qualifies as a rare pen in my book. And if you collect Esterbrook, I guarantee you probably don't have one. Okay. This is going all right here today. Is it rare because it's clipless? Yes, that is what makes it rare. If it had a clip, it would be a $75 pen, maybe 70. Thought of an idea would be extra work. After a pen has been repaired on the live stream, you make a note when you put it on the website that the repair of the pen can be seen on live stream, and you can say which live stream. Yeah, that's not a terrible idea. The only problem, I mean, it would be a little extra work because not always. I mean, it could be 3 months before these pens get. We're gonna see if the Dr. G's can take some of this little coral tint away here. This one was black. that was this one. No, that was this one. That 51 Cordovan. Yeah, these are 2 Cordovans. Right there. I should just get these pencils out of the way because no pencils are happening today. All right, so there's my section. Let's get rid of these ballpoints. Of course, today happened to be like the only day ever in history that I've ever, well, in a long time, decades, at least a decade, that I've actually sent the mailer myself. I usually have my daughter or somebody else has done it in the past. And so, of course, naturally, I'm thinking, wow, was it something I did? Yeah, that clipless pastel is super scarce. And you can't just make one. You know, it's not a regular. I mean, you could, I suppose, you'd have to go through a lot of work to make one. Because you can't just take a clip off. You got to use a barrel tassie from another pastel. You got to pop the jewel out. Make sure you don't break anything in the process. Cut out the rivet and then re-rivet it and then put the jewel back in. So it's got maybe a 300% premium over a standard pastel. Yeah, it would be cheaper. Yeah, it would be cheaper to buy the whole thing. I mean, it's possible. I mean, you know, never say never, but I'm probably going to be sitting on the stinking thing because nobody knows they exist. And people probably just think I'm nuts. Well, people probably think I'm nuts anyway, but. Okay, we got a good feed. We got a good section. Let's clean this nib up. They're real pretty blue. And interestingly enough, there have been, as far as I'm aware, no catalogs unearthed that discuss the clipless variant. Yet, we know what model number it is because stickers exist. Although, many standard pastels, model CH, often can be found with the model H sticker. I don't believe I've ever seen a clipless with the original sticker. There must be a pamphlet out there that answers all these questions. It hasn't turned up yet. Yeah, there has to be. Although, we also haven't turned up, as far as I'm aware, any pamphlet I mean, one must exist. We're going on faith that we have the names for Tempo Red and Aloha Gold and Country Green. But where do those come from? You know, we don't have... I've never seen one. They're great names regardless of where they come from. Yeah, and they pretty accurately represent I think what the color actually is. Your Esterbrook book by Paul Holben arrived last week. Looks good and look forward to reading it. You have 10 Esterbrook pens that have just cleared customs. Nice. And you got the original or the second one? Probably the second one, huh? All right. Well, we got a clean nib. The original. Oh, you got the original. Good, good. On my recommendation. Okay, good. Well, this is the fun part. Yeah, I think the original book it gives you the meat of what you need to know. And none of the fluff. There's a lot of fluff in the second book. I honestly don't believe that anybody who's interested in the modern Esterbrook, I mean, they could be interested in the vintage, but I don't think it goes both ways necessarily. This is really hot. Trying to grab it by the section. Yeah, it needs to go there. I think if I can get it in that much further would be. Comparatively speaking, something as uncommon as a clipless pastel is a tremendous value. Compare it to so many mass-produced pens in that price range that are neither interesting or hard to find. Yeah, yeah. You can be rest assured that on two things on that pen. Number one, you're going to be the only one in your club with that pen in any color. Boy, that's really hard to get in, but I think that's probably going to be. It looks massive for such a small pen, but I think that looks all right. You know, normally you put it at the bottom of the number or whatever, but I think that's going to be just right. Yeah, so you're going to be the only one that's got that pen. And you're not going to be able to get a very big collection of them because they're just they're just not out there. The fact that I have found four in the last year. Now 3 of them were in that 500 piece collection that I bought. Yeah, what an amazing Partsman special. Now, it has this tape on the end of the section here, which I'm actually inclined to leave. And normally I wouldn't, but it's been on this pen for quite some time. Without it, it's obviously going to be very loose, and something else is going to need to be done about it. Well, I didn't even look if there's a J bar in here or not. There is. Good. That would have sucked. Yeah, it's not hurt anything. And it's got this has the most adorable, I'll show you this, the most adorable engraving on the barrel. I love these. You can just picture it. This was Elsie's. Or Elise? Yeah, maybe it's Elise. It's just fun. It's just fun. You know, I mean, it's fun. You know, sometimes some of the walls, they have just such a very block print, and it just doesn't look this. It's so fun. It's so fun. Now the nice thing about it is it's a metal barrel, so you don't have to worry about. You can actually put a bigger sack in there than you think. I wonder if that 15 will fit in there. Wouldn't that be something? Hand engraved by someone who knew their business. Yeah. Sold by a jeweler for sure, right? That was that 15 I cut for that touchdown. It's almost perfect. Maybe you might. I'm inclined to say, well, let's see how this looks. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be a tight stretch, actually, on the 15. Let me see what a 16 would look like. Hang on, I got to run and get one. So yeah, I mean, even there's plenty of room on a 16. That's going to be a better fit. I think, yeah, I think a 16 is going to work on this thing. You know, and the funny thing, the ironic thing is it's probably going to be almost as long a sack as you'd find it in Esterbrook. What a cute little thing today. When I woke up this morning, I never said, you know what, let's work on a wahl. A little wahl ring top. I mean, look how far that goes down. You're glad you asked. Lisa's. I'm trying to envision right now. Lisa's reaction when I tell her the story. Is she going to roll her eyes? Be excited? What's the real reaction going to be? Let's see. You know what? We're pushing close to 5 here today. We might not get any further on these guys. Let's see what this looks like. This time I said something and it ended up making you money. That's a rarity. Oh, man. You know what I got to do? And that's true. That's true. What I got to do is I got to spin that story, though. And let her believe that something else happened. Boy, this is really, really stained pink. I really don't know that. It being in Dr. G is much longer. Either that or I need to change my Dr. G's out. I'm not really certain. I mean, it doesn't really matter. No one's going to see it, right? Either that or this is a rare pink version. Yeah, I mean, you really got to go through these parts bins more often, you know. If it's red superchrome, there may not be enough Dr. G's in the world to help. Yeah. I don't see any buildup. Oh, hang on. Take that back. Maybe I do. Yeah, I don't care if it's pink, green, purple. I'm going to let it dry, and there's a little bit something in there. I'm going to let it dry overnight, and we'll see. And then tomorrow we'll also look at the date codes on these. Right, those are good. Mm. I used to collect walls, metal walls. Really loved them. I mean, the bigger the better, right? I mean, I'm watching over the old Anderson Penn's podcasts, and there was an early one where I'm starting from the beginning, just for fun. You know, there's a couple of mundane tasks that I do every morning, and for a little while, I thought, well, why not? You know, I'll just have it on split screen and I watch it. And one of them, we were talking about a wall that Lisa got me for my birthday one year. All metal, number 4 nib. Number 4. Hmm. This would have been impossible with the 15. Look at that. And I'm going to retire this today. I just need to get a new napkin for tomorrow. All right, so let's take a look at a good stopping point. So tomorrow we'll test out this cute little wahl. We'll continue these guys. We can test the 2 touchdowns, the fat. And this guy here, we got to clean the caps, and then we can start to reassemble the snorkels. And we'll go from there. And then Omos should be good to go back in the box. So all right. Well, so I've got a little bit of time left here. Here in the shop. I've got some reorganizing to do. Have a great night. Yes, you too, David. Send me a text later if you think of it, and I'll look for that pen at my house. Is there a reason why they came up with the dating system back then for pens? Dating system? You mean like Parker? I don't know. I don't know why. Warranties. Oh, warranties. Yeah, that's a good idea. That's a good idea. Yeah, oh, that's right. Good luck with the electrician. I better remember to stay home tomorrow. Yeah, we'll see. I can't imagine. I mean, I know 2 of the things that they have to do are going to be like, it's going to take them longer to get in the house and get back to the electrical box than it is going to be to actually do the work. The other one, who knows? Who knows? It shouldn't be too bad. So fingers crossed. So anyway, I've got some organizing to do now, and then that's it for the day. So thanks everyone for tuning in. Enjoy the rest of your afternoon, your evening, your morning, wherever you are in the world. Be kind, be well, and we will get you tomorrow, all right? Take care, everyone.